First, a property crash, then a liquidity crisis with the banks. Now regional governments are threatening to blow a bigger hole in Spain's finances. It all comes down to overspending. Last year alone, Spain's 17 autonomous regions were responsible for 2/3 of Spain's deficit. Together they account for half of all state spending.
Obviously you have different governments that are basically effectively running big regions of the country, and those governments might have a very different view of how to run the economy from what the federal authorities are thinking. Obviously that's creating conflict.
Catalonia, one of Spain's richest regions, accounting for nearly a quarter of its GDP, is now also one of the most indebted. Last week it was one of the 8 regions downgraded by credit rating agency Fitch. Its cost of borrowing has soared.
Nosotros, como gobierno catalán,
we as the Catalan government, I don't think anyone can argue, are committed to the value of austerity. But austerity as a permanent value is one thing. Austerity as a sick obsession is something else entirely. So therefore, we send this message to the European Union. Austerity, yes, but not at any price.
More than 285 kilometres away is Valencia, ground zero in the collapse of Spain's housing industry. Its government is also facing a liquidity crunch, with a debt pile of almost 20% of its GDP.
We're making important changes in the area of €1 billion. We're tightening our belts. For example, out of the 46 public companies we had in the public sector, only 6 entities will remain.
This regional struggle has historical and political roots. Government in Spain was decentralised after the Franco years. Regions have the right to legislate over everything, from healthcare to infrastructure.
The way it works in Spain is that the central government raises taxes, and regional governments can also raise some taxes. So in a sense, it is the central government distributing the money, the funds for all the regions in Spain, and the regions decide how they are going to spend this money. But the central government has really no say on how this money that is transferred to regional governments is going to be spent.
That may be the case, but the central government is not admitting to it. Spain's finance minister says its regions are now meeting deficit reduction targets.
We are making reforms. We're cleaning up the banking system and the public sectors, and that, along with other reforms, will create growth, employment, and allow us to exit the crisis with an integrated and strengthened Europe.
The problem is Europe is not integrated enough, and neither is Spain. Madrid now faces an urgent struggle to unite.